3 reasons why you might want to leave this plant off of your fall plan. Last year, I decided to bring garlic into my collection of garden plants. It was my very first time trying this, and I actually harvested a nice pile of garlic bulbs that I'm gonna use in my kitchen. That said, I most likely won't be doing this again, or at least not the way that I did it this year. There are definitely some pros to growing this veggie crop. However, if you're an urban gardener like me that doesn't have a ton of space, or even a newbie gardener who just wants to, enjoy the gardening process and learn how to grow, I might have 3 reasons why you want to leave this off of your wish list. But not to be a bummer, let's start with some easy reasons why you might want to grow garlic. It's a pretty easy filler plant. And I was super surprised by just how set it and forget it was. Once I gave all of that organic soil, put some mulch on top, all I had to do was just let it be for the time it needed to be, which was essentially 9 months. Another reason why I also wanted to grow garlic was because I'm a little curious about what it takes to grow this plant. I was curious about the different varieties and if I could experiment with different types of garlic. Would it affect how I cooked, what things tasted like? It fed that little sparkle for me once I was able to harvest it. Another reason why I grew it, and probably something that you're thinking you want to check off a gardening milestone. For me, I use garlic around the clock in all of my meals. I grew up in a family that heavily used garlic in everything and used a lot of garlic. I have continued that tradition. So looking through the grocery store, it always seemed like a novel item to me. And if I could learn how to grow it, to me, it meant that I have really grown in my gardening skills and really do have a green thumb. That said, I don't think growing the garlic was worth it in the end. One, it takes too long. It takes such a long time. Garlic takes, I would say, about 9 months from planting it to harvest state. That is a considerable amount of time for your growing season. If you're up north or you have an actual winter like I do, the 9 months isn't as long because you can plant it in the fall and just leave it over those winter times. However, once we got to the spring and summer months, I realized I couldn't do much. In fact, I wasn't able to harvest my garlic plants until probably early mid-July, well past the time for transplanting in cucumbers and other tomatoes for that specific spot. The other thing, because it takes so long, you need to prepare early to just book that spot for the entire time length. Having a chunk of space cut off for at minimum 3 months into your peak summer gardening season is not ideal if that's your plan. You're trying to maximize how much you can grow and how many rounds of things you can grow. At the rate that I use garlic in the kitchen, I'm talking minced garlic, chopped garlic, roasted garlic, I would have to grow a lot of garlic in order to offset my grocery bill, which means I would have to allocate so much of my garden just towards this plant. I could have instead used that bed to plant things like kale, cabbage, radishes, of course, lots of radishes, thinking about lettuce, collard greens, other beets. I could have also used that time to transplant in my summer veggies like zucchini and cucumbers, veggies that can actually make a full meal for me when I'm cooking in the kitchen. Overall, the payoff for the garlic plants that I got, which is a nice amount, wasn't worth it compared to what I could have used all that time and space for. If you're thinking about growing garlic, please don't let me discourage you, but just take some of those considerations in when you're planning out your fall garden plan and eventually your summer garden plan too. If you want to see how I actually plan my fall crops like garlic when I'm thinking about the fall gardening season, check out this video at the end about how I sort my seeds and really think about what I'm going to eat and how that translates into the seeds I'm actually going to plant. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and of course, leave a comment down below to tell me if you really like this video, what you would change or do differently. All in all, this is a positive experience, just a lot of lessons to be learned. All right, hun, that's it. Take care.